Good morning. Before I start, I'm going to have to brag, I'm afraid. This is my golf yesterday. Par, 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 birdie. Let's conveniently forget the second, third, and fourth holes. But, turned up. And with that out of the way, it was a very good session last night as well. Rare that I do a Friday session, but it's great being on this time zone. It really is. Because you can get stuck in. Made some really good decisions yesterday and avoided the pitfalls. But I did avoid the one side who turn up for the Champions League, Stuttgart, 0-2 down. We should have got involved at 0-2 down. Very low entry point. Got to keep your liability low with these big guns. Look at Paris Saint-Germain. Absolutely dominated the match, but failed to score. I avoided that pitfall, thankfully. Although it wouldn't be much of an avoidance had you laid 109, 106. Just weren't doing it. And again, a whole raft of changes. Champions League upcoming. But absolutely delighted with yesterday. Burnley and Middlesbrough, good call going into the first half market. It was going to be a very titan clash of the top five. Two sides in extremely good form. Burnley keeping clean sheets, Middlesbrough scoring for fun. But you look at the challenge table, the scoring against bottom half, not the big guns. Burnley, 100 plus attacking pressure index. I went for a 1-1 and a 2-1 in the half-time score market. I saw that as value. Look at the liability, very low indeed, because it's a top clash. Got the job done. Maastricht and Vitesse Arnhem, all down really to the league position of Vitesse Arnhem, 20th in the league, having a woeful time. They used to be one of the big boys in the Eredivisie. Doing a bit of a Sampdoria, is it? They're in Serie B. They took the lead. I thought Maastricht could get the equaliser, but there's two options here. Eredivisie is the divisie. You could go neutral with over 2.5 goals. Could have cashed out with only a marginal gain of about £8. It just wasn't firing when they got the 1-1. Stayed in, although that was more by luck than design, and we got a full payout on the overs. The traditional route is to look, and I went to Maastricht +1. That's all you needed. They got the equaliser, 30 quid profit. Could have been £57 profit if I left for the win. So delighted with yesterday's plays. Not sure if I missed a few on Telegram. That's the way I like to do it. There was a good caseload of quality. So I think I've shown you all the green that occurred yesterday. Yeah, some good stuff. Champions League sides, this was the one which got away. Should have played, as I say, that Union Berlin 0-2. Stuttgart have a tradition of not cocking things up pre-Champions League, even though this looked as if they would. Walter Mader, it was his day yesterday. Superb stuff, and we should have killed it with this one. So my apologies. But we left that alone. Inter Milan, far too good. This was too much of a derby style match, and I would have favoured, I think, Atalanta above AC Milan on paper. Twente scored first against PSV, but the only real way angle would have been the only way real angle in to get my teeth back would have been a half-time play there to create some value. Celta Vigo, Mallorca again. Mallorca tempting me in to an equaliser, but thankfully I didn't pull the trigger. They weren't igniting the in-play stats second half, and I just held back a little. They're not known as goal merchants, and both teams to score no would have saved your bacon here. This is a killer scoreline. It really is. They're holding on, with only 8 minutes to go, and they concede. Red card and concede, and that's all your profit if you've got involved. Dead. So I avoided the pitfalls, and we profited where we could. I thought it was an excellent session yesterday. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I could do with more of those. Nice and calming, relaxing, making some very good decisions as well. French Ligue 2. Well, it was all about Bastia. The Bastards can't score. It was either going to be 0-0 or 0-1, as I kept telling you. the best way to capture a 0-1, lay the draw 109, 106. That 0-0 was in play, but I thought Bastia would do what they did against another newly promoted side, Martigues, and get the 1-0 win. But it was one-way traffic. But if you look at the head-to-heads, you'll see Bastia's recent run of 0-0s. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. So that was the negative. The newly promoted side, they've been playing all the way back here. Well, Martigues in the league, it was a 1-0. So low liability. Cost me about £3 to get involved in that. So excellent session yesterday. Now I'm a bit worried about this storm. Is it going to see a whole raft of matches, particularly in the UK, cancelled? We've already got the beginnings of the storm here in Guernsey, but we're not going to get the whole raft of it. Now you can see in front of your eyes that we've got the fixture list, and it's not affected just yet. So English Championship, League One and League Two will be our usual port of calls as well. We're likely to be getting some postponements in certain parts of the country. This could increase throughout the day. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think it's England that's being predominantly affected by this storm, not really in Europe. Let's have a look through today's matches. You can see for yourself already. Liverpool derby, Merseyside derby. Everton coming off the back of a 4-0 win. Liverpool conceding 3 goals at Newcastle. It's going to be a fascinating fixture. Liverpool on paper, of course, are going to batter this lot. Have them for breakfast, but it is a derby-style match. Form can be thrown out of the window. Everton, in head-to-heads, have been keeping clean sheets. So Arnie Pie in the Sky, Slot. This is his first derby. Head-to-heads. Clean sheet, Everton. Well, no, Liverpool have had the better of it in 2023, but a clean sheet for Everton in 2024 and in 2022 and in 2022 again. I'd be more inclined towards a Liverpool 1-0, 2-0 win, but it is a derby. Don't make predictions in a derby. Aston Villa, pre-Champions League, have had a touch of the Man Cities. Everything's fallen apart. Not the only side, Red Bull Salzburg, suddenly failing to score, but scoring 3 goals midweek. At their very, very best, Aston Villa, if they're not distracted by the upcoming Champions League, this is going to be a comfortable home win. But this has the feel of Brighton v Southampton. Same odds. That ended 1-1 with a Southampton second goal disallowed. Very contentiously. Brentford and Newcastle, don't have a strong opinion here. Let's dip into a couple of these using soccer stats, and it will show you the statistical look at the match. So let's have a quick look at this. Matches like this, where I don't have an opinion straight off the bat, it's worth going through this. You could identify a neutral arena, overs. So let's have a look. 4 consecutive home wins for Brentford, no defeat and 7 at home, scoring and conceding in their last 7, scoring 2+ goals in each of the last 4 at home. I think we're going to see both teams to score possible here today, with favouring of Brentford if they can continue to score 2 goals. Both teams have scored in Newcastle's last 3 away as well. So an over 2.5 goal match on paper, at the very least. No opponent has led at half-time in a Brentford home match. They've led at half-time in 5 out of 7. Possibility of a goal before half-time, therefore. So that could enter the equation. Brentford, 11th against 12th, done all their best work against 9th and lower. They are vulnerable away, as you can quite clearly see. They need to change that away pattern. But at home, they need to keep building up the points. Newcastle away, they're threatening, aren't they? They've only lost to 2 of the top 6. London sides, don't forget. London, 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 London-ish. Just a little train ride. But they obviously don't like seeing those soft southern Nancy's coming down from the north. There's not enough Newcastle brown ale at half-time. Few draws, but they are scoring and conceding, as you can see there, in all. by 1 match. So this is going to be a fascinating fixture. Possibility of taking the neutral angle with overs. Goal times can be important as well for your entry and exit points, particularly if it's 0-0 at half time. You can have a quick check. It's about 50-50 on both cases for Brentford, but a strong bias towards second half goals for Newcastle United. So we might see the scenario of Brentford leading at half time. They've led in 5 out of 7 at home, but the possibility of Newcastle doing the job. So I'm just getting a reply. 4-letter word. What am I doing today? W-O-R-K. So second half goals are expected today. So that just opens the door up to possible neutral angles. We've identified both teams to score and Newcastle strong second half scoring. Crystal Palace and Man City. The consistent problem with Crystal Palace is the inability to find that second goal. Manchester City are likely to be putting up a fist, a really good go, putting up a fist. Oh dear. Manchester City are highly likely to make a really good go of this today. With Liverpool, possibility of Liverpool dropping points. Crystal Palace are going to be flooding that defence. Mateta, if they can get Mateta scoring, then he will be up and running. But Manchester City scored 3 against Nottingham Forest midweek. They must win. Simple as that. Must win. Let's have a look at the Premier League table. It's not over. Those of you or those in the media who are calling a Liverpool title already, all it takes is an injury for Liverpool. All it takes is a draw against Everton and dropping of 2 points and 3 points there. And things, look, it's not a gimme at all. Let's be honest. Man City, a win today takes them to 29. A draw for Liverpool takes them to 36. Chelsea, well, they're imperious at the moment, aren't they? So it ain't all over. You're going to expect a solid performance from Manchester City. Do watch out. Possible team changes. Certainly Jurgen Klopp used to rest one of the front 3. Most likely Luis Diaz, he used to rest pre-Champions League. Man City, well, they got an embarrassment of riches, but that does knock them off kilter a tad. Must win for Man City. Crystal Palace likely vulnerable of scoring first. Where's that second goal? Manchester United, under the new manager, has not, for me, really impressed too much. He's had a soft opening. Ipswich Town, whoop-de-doo, couldn't even beat them. Bodo Glimt, Norwegian side, Premier League side, should be having them for breakfast, not going 2 goals down. Everton, fair dues, but then our Sunday League side could probably have beaten Everton in that mood. And this is perhaps telling. Once you get to meet the big guns, things fall apart. But that was a corner king Arsenal. Great tactician, Mikel Arteta. They're scoring for fun. So this is an unknown. New manager syndrome. You saw how painful that was in the Leicester City match. Nottingham Forest, well, you can't discount them with Chris Wood, but we will see. So new manager syndrome, I'm reluctant to take a position on this. Monaco and Toulouse, Nice, Le Havre, Côte d'Azur sides are at home today. Le Havre are vulnerable. Newly promoted Le Havre, if they score first, they could be vulnerable today. Lyon involved in European club competition. Quick way to check that is just to have a look at the H2H. If it says EL, there we go. Really good performance against Nice recently. You'd be favouring Lyon on paper, but as ever, it's great on paper, but it's delivering at pre-Champions League and having faith that they will as well. Bundesliga is a 2.5 goal league. I'm not sure I can do the 2.5 goal report for you today because I don't have the advantage of +7 hours. I'll try, but as soon as I finish this, we're heading towards 9 a.m. and then, well, I'll give it a go. But it should be all there for you at the base here. But I'll try to dig out a few overs for you. I don't know what I was doing here we were going to look at the leagues. Just want to show you where the Bundesliga lie. Probably 65%, 62% over 2.5 goals, 82% over 1.5 goals for the Bundesliga. So that's an automatic angle in there. St. Pauli newly promoted, Bayer Leverkusen pre-Champions League. This should be a rout, but they have had uncharacteristically low-scoring matches, particularly with this Champions League in tow. Bayern Munich really should have a field day against Heidenheim, but Bayern Munich were very, very vulnerable last season. You recall a couple of matches where they were leading and they ended up losing. Watch out for team changes as well. I think Vincent Kompany is a little green as far as managing Champions League football. Bochum and Werder Bremen, I don't have a strong opinion. Why don't we have a quick look at this kind of match? Bochum and Werder Bremen, no opinion at all. Nothing stands out to me. Two, as you call them in the computer world, two NCPs. They're in the background. Just don't know much about them. Well, automatically now, you can see Bochum are in a whole heap of bother. They haven't kept a clean sheet. Werder Bremen, on the other hand, spluttering away from home after 3 consecutive away wins against Mainz, Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg, which are decent sides. They've lost to Mönchengladbach and Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt flying high though, second place I believe. Only the one clean sheet for Werder Bremen, highly likely to concede today. Failed to score on only 4 occasions. And 2 of those occasions it was a 1-0 defeat. The other occasion it was a 0-0. So they might get away with it, or they might just marginally lose. Patterns, no win in 12 for Bochum, conceding in all of those 12s. Werder Bremen conceding in the last 10 and the last 6 away. Does not make for good viewing. I wouldn't be buying a ticket for this one. Looking down at the challenge table will give you an idea of struggles. Both bottom half, Bochum bottom of the league, of course. Werder Bremen you'd have to favour here. They haven't really met 8th and lower at home, but when they have met them away, they have outscored them quite considerably and very consistently as well, scoring 2+ goals. Note they're scoring 2 goals as well, regularly enough. So we could see a fascinating match here, but with Werder Bremen's firepower, perhaps seeing them come through. Eintracht Frankfurt flying high in the Bundesliga. Can they continue that momentum here today? Leipzig, managed by Arthur Daly, Derek and Rodney Trotter. Totally and utterly unreliable. Conceding huge amount of goals. Is this the Champions League curse before your very eyes? It's appalling. I don't know what's gone wrong, but then they can suddenly beat second in the league, Frankfurt, but in the DBF Pokal. 5 conceded. 4 conceded here in the Bundesliga. 9 goals conceded in the last 2 Bundesliga matches. Guess what's in the middle? Oh yeah, it's the Champions League. So they're obviously impacted by the curse, as Manchester City were, I think. So just be careful. Mönchengladbach and Dortmund. Watching brief pre-Champions League for Dortmund, but they should deliver. Italian Serie A. Looks a toughie today. Roma and Juve at home, but again, European club competition for these two. So we'll be looking on that one with interest. The Eredivisie will have an over 2.5 goals bias to it. I think Feyenoord don't tend to fall foul pre-European club competition, so I'm expecting them to score the usual 2 or 3 goals at least. In La Liga, Las Palmas coming off the back of that excellent win against Barcelona, catching Barcelona after only a 3-day break for Barca. They just creaked a little. Barca, pre-Champions League again. Are they going to cock it up as they did against Las Palmas? They really came back against Mallorca. Had to win, did win. Tough match against Real Betis, must be said, away at Betis. We could see another spluttering Barca performance. Not going to be too many goals there. Girona and Real Madrid. 2 sides in European club competition. Trusting Real Madrid away from home. It's going to be another tough match for them pre-Champions League. those are our major fixtures. Of course, we've got English Championship, League One, League Two, but we're going to have to wait on that as the day progresses. Likely, we're going to get some more postponements. But the way I handle English League, English Championship, League One, League Two is a first look at odds-on favourites. We know Leeds are just jam-packed with goals. Sunderland, odds-on as well, and we've got a set of tough matches. 2.63, 2.3 the favourite, 2.3 the favourite. So it's going to be a tough set of matches there. English League One, again, it's not a league I follow, so I don't know who's leading or what. What I tend to do, and we tend to see, that the shining lights will be at odds on. That's my first entry point. All of this will go into the My Games facility here, which is there, and you set your alerts. You will be alerted whenever a goal comes in a match with an odds-on favourite. So let's have a look at English League Two. And of course, we've got a whole raft of other leagues as well today. Scotland, for example, a very good over 2.5 goal league, surprisingly. English League Two. Well, let's have a look. AFC Wimbledon, Doncaster, Chesterfield, and that's it. It looks a very, very tough coupon. 2.6, 2.4, 2.45. If the professionals can't pick a winner, take the hint. 2.45 the favourite here. Very, very tough. We have to really use in-play stats throughout the day here. Live stream will be probably 2:30 p.m. I'll play it by ear. I will set one up for you today, but we will see. I just hope you're all safe in the UK today. The wind is arriving here in Guernsey, and it's only 8 a.m. We're in for a battering, I think, throughout the afternoon. Have a great day. I'll see you for a live stream at 2:30 p.m. and let's carry on the good work from last night, where I was very relaxed and calm, managed to pick out the goodies. So let's see if we can do that today, because live streams can be a little hectic. So let me just press the pause button and work at a more relaxed pace during the live stream, and hopefully that will help pick out the winners from the possible Champions League donuts. Have a great day.